Hi, everyone. I'm Amuri Amin, and welcome to episode 14 of The Inner Eyes. Notice something. After the witch is gone, everyone believes the journey is over. The companions have received recognition. The wizard agrees to take Dorothy home. Everything appears to be falling into place. Finally, the ending everyone has expected is here. Then something completely unexpected happens. Toto jumps from the balloon. Dorothy chases him. The balloon leaves. And just like that, the opportunity is gone. No villain, no witch, no fear, no battle, just life. And isn't that one of the hardest lessons? Sometimes things don't fall apart because you've done something wrong. Sometimes life simply unfolds differently than you planned. I can truly attest to that. I never expected to be in the position that I am right now, in the health condition that I am right now. It didn't fall apart, and it's so funny. I was just thinking it before starting the camera. Nothing happened because I did something. I don't smoke. All of my panels are fantastic. But there's only one thing that has nothing to do with anything that I've done that's causing my entire life to shift, to take form, to have to move in a manner in which I never expected. It's unfolding differently than I could have ever planned, than I could have even predicted. Let's think about what the balloon actually represents. The wizard built balloons. That's his world. That's his experience. That's his way home. But Dorothy isn't from his world. So why would his way be her way? How often do we believe that someone else's path is supposed to become ours? We see someone else's success, someone else's career, someone else's healing, someone else's timeline, and we think if we just do exactly what they did, we would have the same reward. But perhaps their balloon was never meant to carry you. Think about the plans that you've made that didn't happen, the job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the move that fell through, the opportunity that disappeared, the dream that changed. And at the time, it felt like complete and utter failure. Years later, though, you realize it redirected you towards something that you would have never chosen, but now you can't imagine living without. How many of us have looked back and thought, I'm so glad that didn't work out the way I wanted. I'm so glad that relationship didn't occur the way that I expected. I'm so happy that that job didn't pull through in the manner in which I envisioned. But let's not overlook Toto, because Toto doesn't sabotage Dorothy. He follows his nature. He's loyal, he's curious, he's present. And Dorothy's love for him causes her to step out of the balloon. And sometimes love changes our plans, responsibility changes our plans, compassion changes our plans. Not because they are mistakes, but because they reveal what matters the most. It's insane how this completely aligns with thoughts that I've had overnight and through the morning. I thought about how Lauryn Hill was given an honor at the BET Awards. I have been a fan of Lauryn Hill since the Fugees, since the 90s when I was in college. And I think about how this morning I was thinking about how they were saying, think about your career in her song Zion when she was pregnant with her first child. And they were saying, think about your career, they said. Lauren, baby, use your head. And she goes, but instead I chose to use my heart. And then she goes on to say in the song, now the joy of my world lives in Zion. She didn't choose the path that others wanted her to do. She didn't think about this music career and allowing it to define her entire life. She chose to have love. She chose to have the direction move for her. She chose to fall into the shift in her life and allow herself to be spiritually led on this physical journey. And she amassed a bunch of Grammys and several nominations for her album, her solo album, that they said would be a flop because of the pregnancy, because she chose family, because she chose to have love. She chose the gift of life over trying to choose the business of career. And in that, in her honoring, it was her children that she made a priority, that were stepping in to honor her as the world honored her at the same time. She chose the richness that is family, the richness that is love, the richness that is life. And that fulfilled her for several decades while others have been scrambling. And this is where I think this episode 14 becomes deeply spiritual. Because what if missing the balloon wasn't a setback? What if it was protection? Because Dorothy had gone with the because if Dorothy had gone with the wizard, she would have never discovered the truth. Excuse me. She would have never met Glinda again. She would have never learned that she always had the power to return home. The failed plan made room for the true lesson. How many times have life done that for you? A closed door, delayed answer, a dream that dissolved, only for something greater or more aligned to emerge. We often ask, why didn't this work? Excuse me one moment. I am struggling right now. I apologize. I just took my medication and it's really, really starting right now. But we wonder, why didn't this work? Perhaps another question is, what is making this possible? Because the balloon had to leave, not to punish Dorothy, but to prepare her for a deeper understanding. Sometimes we confuse disappointment with destiny. Let me say this again. Sometimes we confuse disappointment with destiny. Sometimes the road we mourn is simply the road we were never meant to take. And the hardest part is trusting that before we understand it. The balloon rises, Dorothy cries, the wizard apologizes, and everything feels lost. But the journey isn't over. In fact, the most important lesson is still waiting. Because sometimes the greatest blessings don't arrive until the plans fall apart. This is the inner Oz, where the road doesn't always take you where you planned, it takes you where your soul is ready to grow. I want to thank you so much, excuse me, for following me and going with me on this journey on the yellow brick road. I want to thank you for allowing me to walk with you through this journey, through this plan. Because everything begins with Dorothy believing that home is a place that she lost. And then everything ends with Dorothy realizing home is something that she carries you and that carries her. So I just want to thank you so much. We have 2 more episodes to go, and I want you to join me as we continue along the yellow brick road.